Hi. I was gonna say, I don't have my Burger King crown, that's why I have to do my role quests. Oh, I realize why it does that. Oh, no, I know. Because my damn PC goes to sleep. Step 2, can any who possess the cradle lull a person, willing or no, into a deep slumber, all while avoiding the need for sleep themselves. What you're telling me is this damn relic puts your fatigue onto some random person, so you don't have to sleep. Um, Interesting. Needless to say, such power could cause them untold harm in the wrong hands. Thus was the greatest warrior of our village. Tentoa asked with crossing the ocean and returning that which is most sacred to us. I need these people to have easier names. I swear. My gosh. I'd have joined him, but I fear I would only be a burden. So I remained here, but I might find someone to send to his aid. Tentoa has ever rushed bravely and blindly into the thick of things, leaving me behind to watch and worry. But if there's anything I can do to help him, even a little, then I must. Brokevu has done well to send you to me. I can tell you are just the woman to temper his more reckless tendencies and keep him safe during his quest. As luck would have it, a letter from Tentoa arrived shortly before you did. It seems he discovered that the thief made their way to a place called Ishgard. Oh, back to the frozen north. I see. While I don't doubt his prowess, even Tentoa would be rendered helpless before the narwhal's lullaby. Please, could you follow him to Ishgard and find him before he does anything rash? No. Ishgard, like many other places, I guess, is a second home. Thank you, Tulky. I knew the narwhal would guide a brave protector to our side. Tentoa sails to an unfamiliar place, but despite his hasty nature, he doubtlessly spent time gathering information about his new surroundings, before planning his next step. If Ishgard has a place like this one, where people will gather to drink and talk, he might go there first. Ask for a swordsman with blue hair and attire like mine. I'm sure it won't be long until you find him. Okay. Well, back to Ishgard. I forget if there aren't any. No, there aren't. Not here. I wanted to see what my actual requirements were for crown. I don't think I can look at anywhere here. Yeah, no, probably not. Hello. It isn't Tulky. What will it be? Not here for drink. A lad from the western continent. Well, I can't be going around gossiping about the comings and goings of my customers, now can I? There's a quick way to an empty tavern. But I suppose since you're you, I can make an exception just this once. A lad much like the one you described walked through my doors not long ago. Was asking anyone whose ear he could bend about some stolen narwhal or some such he was after. Usually you buy someone a drink before interrogating them, but not him. Nobody knew what he was going on about, but he was determined. Asked where else in Ishgard people might gather to flap their lips. So I told him to head to the jeweled crozier. If you leave now, I reckon he'll still be there. You'll know him when you see him, trust me. Back to the markets. I'm gonna shorten this guy's name to Tent. We're hoping Tent. Bunch of useless. By the narwhal's horn, you think manners keep people warm, or how desperately these people cling to them. And here I'm trying to rid their city of a thief. Yes, it seems you know me, but I don't think I've ever seen you before. I'd remember. Still don't know how to pronounce that name. Laosinique sent you? Even across oceans. She can sense when I'm in trouble. Well, I won't deny a helping hand, especially one with her blessing. I'm having no luck gaining information from these people. Seems there are unwritten rules regarding favors, and no one's bothered to tell me. I know that thief traveled here, but that's where the trail runs cold. I thought it'd be only a matter of time until they used the cradle to commit some misdeed or another. It seems nothing is amiss within or without Ishgard's walls. I have only a description to go on, although it's availed me nothing so far. A woman of a race known in this land as Elizin. She has a striking red hair and eyes the color of rust. A scar dominates her forehead and a mole rests upon her lips. She came to my village posing as a scholar with an interest in the cradle. Although she gave us a name, I know now it was a lie, just like everything else that spewed from her mouth. The bounty of meat, vegetables, and fruits she offered was worth its weight in gold to us. After the cold snap we suffered last year, we couldn't afford to turn her away. But looking back, I realized how brazen her deception was. Although she wore the robes of a scholar, she moved with the poise of a predator. I marked her as a fearsome warrior the moment I laid eyes upon her. Of course, she wouldn't have been able to travel so far north on her own if she was unseasoned. I thought nothing of it at the time. It was my first misstep of many. That's all I know. It's not much, but if you see even the smallest scrap of a clue in there, it'd be a damn sight better than what I currently have. How much to go off of? A skilled sword would be known among the knights of the congregation, I guess. I don't think she's actually a scholar. Knights, was it? I suppose that's what you call these deadly-looking fellows clad in steel. Yes, you may be onto something there. But where would we find one willing to speak? Oh. At their barracks near the tavern. I know the way. I'll meet you there. Lucky for you. I saved this city a couple too many times, huh? I didn't realize my bullet just covers the text. The bullet count covers over the text. I don't think we've ever talked to this guy before, have we? He always stands there. Why, Mistress Estrella, what brings you to the congregation? This Passage of the Unbound is not a name I've heard before. But if one of their numbers have brought an artifact of great power to Ishgard, we would be ill-advised to suffer their presence. We shall act on this information at once. If there is aught that would turn the peace, then it is our duty to root it out. Consider the knights of the congregation at your disposal. Thank you for hearing us out, truly. Now, does anything about the description we shared ring a bell? An Elysian woman with red hair and eyes the color of rust. Wait, you said she bore a scar on her forehead, yes? And a mole. No, it could not. It could not be. You know who she is? While such information is privy only to those within our order, I understand my hesitation. But weren't you listening to anything we told you? She's too dangerous to be left alone. This isn't time for secrecy. And I'm a stranger in your city, but I can't stand by while innocent lives might be at risk. Oh, if you can't trust Tent, you can trust me. You're right, of course. If the hero who ended the Dragon Song War is not worthy of our trust, then who is? Very well. Master Tent, pray accept my apologies. Although you may not be Ishgardian, your desire to keep its people safe is plain to see. We shall place our trust in you, as Mistress Estrella has. I'm glad we can see eye to eye. Now then, what do you know of this thief? Your description called back some old memories. Memories of a knight named Leofini? Leofini? Maybe? Merely recalling her story makes me ill at ease. For the mark she left upon our honorable order was black as pitch. None know of her whereabouts since she was expelled from the congregation. I thought that living with the shame of her deeds would be punishment enough, but if she now consorts with villains that rend the very foundation of our order, then it is clear we can suffer her freedom no longer. I shall inform my superiors of this development, and suggest that the congregation does all in its power to track down Leofini and place her in custody. If we learn aught of value, I promise to share it with you at once. Really, that's more than we could have asked. I suppose we ought to consider what to do in the meantime. Care to join me over there, Tulky? So what exactly does she do? I don't even know. So we have a name, Leofini, a former knight of Ishgard. That means she knows how to hide herself in the city well. Grasping about at straws won't get us anywhere. My own unfamiliarity does little to help our chances. We may have no choice but to wait until the knights discover our lead. Nevertheless, I intend to spend every waking moment learning more about the city and its workings. As for you, I only ask that you are ready to move at a moment's notice. Until then, be well. There you are, Tulky. I've been walking Ishgard Street whenever I've been able. I've taken to searching for any sleeping people. You see, the land I'm from isn't much warmer than this, and people know not to tempt fate by dozing off in the open air. Even those blind with drink manage to find their way home somehow. I figured the only force powerful enough to overcome that instinct for self-preservation would be a cradle. If we find a sleeper exposed to the elements, we may very well discover Leofini nearby. I can't imagine she brought it all this way to just remain idle. It's a tedious prospect, but we need to scour every back alley and shadowed walkway before anyone catches something much worse than a cold. Mistress Estrella, Master Tent, I bring good tidings. The Temple Knights wasted no time in distributing handbills across Ishgard containing Leofini's description. Their efforts have already borne fruit. We but recently received a report of someone matching her features being sighted. Really? Where? She was sighted near Camp Dragonhead by a patrolling sentry. Described a woman with red hair and a distinct scar on her forehead. The outpost can be reached by passing through the Gates of Judgment and heading east. Once there, speak with Sir... I don't even know how to pronounce that name. Eugenoa? For the full report. I knew she'd show herself. Let's hurry, Tulky. Oh my gosh. I need easier names to pronounce, please. Dragon Head. Too lazy, so we're gonna teleport. Not too far away. We could have actually just flew there. Once again, I'm too lazy. Hello. I was informed you are on your way. This is considering the report of one of our sentries, yes? We only move by TPing in this game. True. He cited a woman matching the description in the handbill sent by the congregation. She was heading south along the footpath, but that is all we know. I still don't know how to pronounce your name. But hold fast. I shall send aid at once. What happened? A shipment of supplies was waylaid by monstrous beasts. A contingent of temple knights should have been protecting it, but something is amiss. They need our help. We would be in your debt. The shipment was attacked on the road west of the observatorium. I shall muster more knights. Please go find my men before any lives are lost. So, what I don't understand is we're supposed to help him get the relic back, but like, they put people to sleep? Oh, we're just immune to sleep or something? It's not true, because black mages put me to sleep in PvP all the time. So, exactly how? It transfers fatigue from the user to the quote-unquote enemy. How? How? They should be close, right? I'll search the other side of the river. Tulky, you search further down the road, and keep your weapon at the ready. I missed on my dash damage. I still use my dash as if it does damage. It does not. Just there for show. You saved us. We are almost... Oh. You won't be feasting today. Oh. Not a moment too soon. The wide eye watches eternal, when eternal is the sleep it bestows. We're too late. No, they're not. Oh, just look, they're asleep, is all. Good. Good. Our trusty chocobos suddenly became unsure on their feet, and a wagon toppled onto the side of the road. There's nothing for it but to fix the damage on the spot. The temple knights went to secure the area, but before I knew it, each and every one of them had fallen asleep where they were standing. Then the beast attacked. It was just me before those snarling fangs. Time to wake up. Sleep here any longer and the cold will have you. You just slapped them awake? I guess that's one way to wake someone up. Just slap them awake. What happened? Oh no, it must be quite crazy to be sleeping and then get slapped awake by someone. We fell asleep, but we were patrolling. You must be mistaken. A temple knight will never shirk his duty so. Are you calling me a liar? I saw you fall over on your arse with my own eyes. If not for Sir Yushino's quick response and the bravery of these warriors, we would all be food for the vultures by now. Your congregation will hear of this dereliction of duty. You can be sure. You can be sure. Now hold on just a moment. They aren't the ones to blame. The sacred relic of my people was stolen, and now isn't the time. Sorry, I forget I said anything. Whatever dizziness overtook the chocobos seems to have passed. I'll resume my journey once the courage is repaired. Assuming my guards are quite refreshed, I believe we can make it on our own. Please return to camp at Dragonhead and warm yourselves. It's no coincidence that the giant birds and the two guards took their leave of their senses around the same time. It is the work of the cradle. But even if Leophanie was here, she is no longer. Let's return to the city and consider our next steps. We've received reports of the incident near Camp Dragonhead. Two of our own sleeping on duty. Quiet fury. Had you reached them even a moment later, this day would have been much darker. Although it pains me to say, those two shall be punished as befits the magnitude of their negligence. If I may, I don't believe the blame rests entirely on their shoulders. The cradle of the sleepless was used against them, I'm certain. Ah yes, you said it possessed the power to lull others into deep sleep. I admit that would explain these exceptional circumstances. Regardless, they were still bested by their enemy, and their charge was almost killed as a result. Punishment is the only recourse. I see. A harsh stance, maybe, but I can respect that you don't treat your duty lightly. Well, if you learn anything else of Leophanie's pots, please let us know at once. Even though we didn't find her, I'm glad we were able to save those soldiers. Thank you for coming to us. Nay, 'tis the Temple Knights who owe you thanks. We shall continue our search, and rest assured, you shall be the first to know of any developments. Tulky, there's more I would tell you about the cradle. Things I should have told you sooner. Join me over there, and I'll do my best to fix that mistake. Well, what exactly have you been neglecting? Let's say. Now you see. Oh god, my throat's still. I'm still sick. So my throat is still not fully recovered. Now you've seen with your own eyes what I've only been able to describe. The narwhal's lullaby can put even hardened warriors to restful slumber. They may as well be defenseless as a newborn babe. But even with such power, my people have never used it to attack our enemies. Its sole purpose has always been to keep a single person awake, an eternal guardian who would never sleep, never rest, the wide eye, me. For 10 years I've been awake, training day and night to gain the strength I have now, the strength to shield my people. Of course, another must receive the awareness I cast aside, the shut-eye. You've met her, in fact. Was Nikwe. As I've been awake these 10 years, she spent the better part of her days in deep slumber. Her brief periods of wakefulness are spent exercising and eating so her body doesn't waste away. And so, we've barely spoken, despite how much I depend on her. When we were young, we'd spend our days exploring the mountain paths, but that time is long past. Telling you all this now, I realize how very little of my life has been dedicated to my own pursuits. Was and Nikwe and I both have devoted ourselves entirely to the protection of our village. Yes, don't you miss her? I do. I see her only when I have to use the cradle. And even then, she's sleeping. I barely remember what her smile looks like. A life unencumbered by sleep might seem like a life of freedom. But if those you care for the most aren't there to share it with you, it feels like a prison. But we don't have the luxury to dwell on regrets. I see now that although my people never used the cradle for ill, wicked hearts can twist anything towards evil. That's something I can't tolerate. The very thought of this might happen again make the bile churn in my gullet. I must bring Leophanie's scheme to an end. Well, that's kind of like the living forever dilemma. Just a person I wanted to see. I'd like to ask for your advice on a certain matter, if you don't mind. It's been a while since my last letter to Loaz and Nikwe. I wanted to wait until I discovered something worth sharing to write her, but we're still completely in the dark. I don't want her to worry, but I don't know what to tell her. Tell her you're in good spirits. You might be right. Silence might make her think that something terrible has happened. Alright, I'll start right away. I may not have much time left. Oh, don't misunderstand. It's nothing so grave as that. It's just, the last time I used the cradle was just before it was stolen. Luckily, I'm still as alert as I've ever been, but it won't be long until I must dream like any other. I will give Leophanie free rein while I'm helpless in bed. There's no quarry more dangerous than the one who doesn't sleep. We have to see this through before that happens. Mrs. Estrella, Master Tent, we have received reports that several groups of temple knights have fallen afoul of what can only be your stolen artifact. Several? Let me guess, they were all guarding someone else. You would be correct. It is the duty of a knight to protect those who cannot protect themselves. If we fail even at the most basic function, then our honor means nothing. As if the incident near Camp Dragonhead was not shameful enough, the knights in the most recent attack were left in quite compromising positions. What the hell? Yet the weight of embarrassment is a trifle compared to the guilt we would bear if any innocents came to harm. The Fury was merciful in that respect, but we would rather not see these incidents repeat. Still, while the Temple Knights must work to repair their reputation in the days ahead, it is a far cry from bringing Ishgard crumbling to its knees. Truth be told, the method of this passage of the Unbound leaves me mystified. But Leophany was cunning, nothing else. If we can discern her true motivations, we have little recourse but to wait until she makes a mistake. Perhaps she gets her jollies seeing people humiliated. So it looks like. Many among the knights have suggested the same. Leophany may be part of this esoteric order, but she has never been one to put her own interests first and foremost. The cradle is a tool of peace, yet Leophany uses it for childish pranks. It makes a mockery of its sacred power. We have to get it out of our clutches. And to do that, we have to start asking the right questions. This new information makes me wonder, why has she focused her attention on the Temple Knights? Well, she was expelled by them, no? I've pondered the same. Posted at the Camp Dragonhead are knights from many houses of repute, including House Fortomp. Being a former Temple Knight herself, Leophany doubtlessly knows their habits and training. Perhaps that makes it easier for her to exploit her weaknesses. And if we follow the knights, we may pick up her trail. It's not ideal, but it's the best we have to go on. While a larger contingent of knights have but recently been dispatched to Curtis. You remember Gorgane Mills, yes? It has been laid abandoned ever since the heretics were driven from it. Yet there is ever the risk that unsavory elements might infest it once again. Thus have the Temple Knights planned joint patrols of its premises with other contingents. You speak with Sir Redwold at Falcon's Nest. I'm certain he would be glad to have you along. Well, sorry, these role quests are just like unserious. Such a far cry from Endwalker's. Well, I guess Endwalker's whole story was a lot more darker in a sense. More serious, I guess. But this group is just like unserious. Is that Mistress Astray I see? Of course you are ever welcome in Falcon's Nest. Yet I believe I do not know your companion here. Indeed, whispers of the Temple Knight's humiliation have reached us even here, falling asleep while on duty. I dared not believe the stories, but it seemed there was truth in them after all. They fell asleep, true, but it wasn't their fault. We suspect they fell victim to an enemy wielding a powerful artifact. Now the rumors fail to mention anything like that. If we can lull even trained warriors to sleep, then we must treat it as a serious threat. Nevertheless, if one knight falls, another is always ready to take their place. So long as this artifact cannot put an entire regiment under its spell, I believe we are well positioned to combat it. Interesting. The idea of your allies falling in battle doesn't seem to disturb you at all. Where I hail from, a single warrior is responsible for the safety of his entire village. Make no mistake, we do not doubt our allies' mettle, and we mourn every loss. Yet each man and woman here knows that if they must quit the battle, another sword just as fierce will take their place. To know that an ally is at your back, it would allow you to fight with abandon. You believe this Leophany might take interest in our activities at Gorgane Mills, yes? The party has already left, accompanied by a group of Temple Knights. Your suspicions are correct, and they are at risk, but ask that you follow in their tracks and ensure that they have not fallen victim to foul play. The mills can be found to the north, which is across the Black Iron Bridge. The party should be arriving there soon, conditions permitting. We have to reach them before Leophany does. Okay. We can't teleport there, so we're gonna have to fly there. It's all the way up here. It's back where we first met Izael's heretic, like, little base. I never realized there were people in that statue. Have there always been people in that statue? Oh. Oh, they're asleep. We're too late. They're fast asleep. But Redbolt gave the impression there were more. These knights must have been the lookouts. We should awaken them, but keep your eyes peeled for Leophany. I'll rouse these ones. Tulky, you search that building yonder. Who the hells are you? How'd you get past the guards? Oh. It's you. Thank the Fury you arrived when you did. Those thugs struck when our backs were turned. I assumed the Temple Knights were protecting the entrance, so I wasn't as cautious as I should have been. Were they killed? Sleeping? I've heard the stories, of course, but I didn't think they were true. Whoever is behind this, I'm sure they didn't count on you showing up. For now, we shall tend to our wounds, and then finish our inspection here. Mrs. Estrella, I ask that you join the knights outside and wait until we're finished. Ah, as I thought. Just when I was becoming bored, I sighted a familiar face. Among these slumbering knights, I simply had to come and make sure it was you. You finally found the courage to show yourself. Hand over the cradle now, and I won't kill you. What they call you again? The Wide Eye. You must have had quite the journey to come this far. Be careful, Tulky. This is our quarry. The thief who stole the cradle of the sleepless. This is Leophany. That is your ally? Where their nimble hands, they may seek your artifact for themselves. It matters not, I suppose. Before you both throw your lives away, I suggest you think for a moment. Is a cause you fight for worth the sacrifice? So few of us know true freedom. There's aught you would grasp with your own hands. Do so before they wither and your eyes shut for the last time. The codes and rules that would bind men are mere illusions. Open your eyes. Truly open them. Then you shall see a path all your own. Only a fool would waste their life in the struggle of another. Quit spouting nonsense. Nonsense? Perhaps. I'm here because of another, after all. Apiahi? Who came to me at the height of my debauchery and welcomed me into her devious brotherhood. She guided me to great power, yes, and now I lead others upon the unbound path. Yet truth be told, I have little interest in seeing where it ends. Tear down the world's nations, Ishgard among them, and usher the world into, well, what does it matter? Yet I do derive great pleasure in shaming the Temple Knights, in seeing the snickers and jeers deflate their pompous stride as they walk down the streets. If this artifact can hasten their fall from grace, I believe I shall keep it. I know the path I walk, the one that leads to your downfall. And I won't abandon it, I'll take the cradle back. And then I'll... Oh dear, you seem to have lost your train of thought. I know you cannot hear me, but if you want your artifact back, I might suggest stealing it from me while I'm asleep. But considering the burden I've just passed to you, that opportunity may not come for some time yet. Why, I feel absolutely transcendent. To think the shackles of fatigue weighed so heavily. Alas, it appears the artifact needs its own repose of sorts. No matter, I have learned more than enough to take my next step. See to it that this lot is disposed of. It is the least you can do for the freedom I've given you. Okay. You would think they'd stop sending no names, you know? You think. I guess. They need to fill some quest levels. Try as you might to rouse Tent, he seems completely detached from the waking world. Oh, he's dead. Looks like you saved us twice today. Thank you. But what of him? Fast asleep, just as we were. Could this be what Sir Firmabert warned us of in his report? I see, then the stories are more than just wicked rumors. I suppose there is some small comfort in the fact that our enemy tipped their hand without causing loss of life. While the drowsiness made my eyes heavy, my ears could not mistake Leophany's arrogant voice. If she would not scruple to attack former comrades in arms, then she has fallen farther than I dared imagine. And we bear the blame for allowing her to get the upper hand, and in doing so putting innocent lives in danger. Another black mark on our order. It's only thanks to you and your companion's effort that the snow was not stained red this day. At the very least, allow us to carry him to the congregation. Our work here is done, so we shall accompany them as far as Falcon's Nest. Tulky, pray return to Ishgard and look after your friend. Well, I ain't carrying him, so good. Unless I can stuff him in a bag, I ain't carrying him. You know how far that is? Oh, glad am I to see you well, Mistress Estrella. I understand you come fresh from an encounter with none other than Leophany. Master Tent now rests on the second floor. We shall stand vigil by his side every moment until he opens his eyes again. We should not have long to wait, but if you wish to check on him, please do so at your leisure. There's another matter to discuss. Just before your departure to Gorgani Mills, it seems there was another incident. A group of criminals were released from their cells, their guards found in deep sleep. Doubtless Leophany was behind this. And doubtless the ruffians you clashed with were those self-same criminals. Leophany is gathering those who bear a grudge against the Temple Knights to her side, and using this animosity to her advantage. We now know for certain that Leophany is the mastermind of these attacks, and that her aim is to chip away at the very foundation of the Temple Knights, our honor. When I shared these revelations with my superiors, it was decided that none would speak publicly of the artifact and its powers. The passage of the Unbound seeks to overthrow the nations, the world. One obvious method to achieve this goal would be to stoke the flames of unrest among the common folk, thus sinking Ishgard into a mire of chaos and distrust, not unlike the blasphemies of the final days. So long as these failures are placed squarely on the shoulders of Temple Knights, we can avoid fomenting a more abiding mistrust in the nation's very core. For Ishgard's peace, I would gladly suffer any disgrace. The question remains as to whether we can apprehend Leophany before she tears our reputation to tatters. While Master Tent slumbers, it falls to us to search for clues that might point towards her whereabouts. I'll have to swap the paladin after this. Leophany remains as elusive as ever. If she is in league with Ishgard's more unsavory elements, she could be hidden anywhere. We have only her cryptic statements to guide us. It seems that whatever her plan is, her action thus far has been but a prelude to its climax. We can but hope that Tent awakes before she emerges again. Tulky, there you are. I'm so glad I found you. I was starting to think I was in the wrong city, but the narwhal guided me true. Oh, you must be the maiden Tent mentioned. You hail from the same village, yes? I'm Firmabert of the Temple Knights. 'Tis an honor to meet you. Tent wrote about you in his letters. I'm Lao Nikwe, and the honor is all mine. Is Tent with you? I haven't received a letter from him for some time, so I came here to check on him myself. He's asleep. I guess we're just running into his room. You insufferable fool. What have I always told you about rushing ahead without thinking? Now you have now you even have the gall to be sleeping when I arrive. You promised you'd write to me. What was I supposed to do when the letters stopped coming? I I was so worried. At least I can take some small comfort that he appears otherwise unharmed. I take it you're to thank for that, Tulky. Are they lovers exactly? Is there any way to counteract Radal's influence? Can one stay awake forever by sheer force of will? The answer is the same. Although we can deny ourselves food or drink, sleep is another matter. It always finds us in time. And to rouse oneself from a slumber this deep is an impossible task, even for someone like Tent. You know why Tent sleeps so soundly? Reports of other incidents indicated that those affected awoke in a matter of moments, yet Tent shows no sign of stirring. All that, I'm sorry, I can't say for certain. But I do know the stories of those who came before me. More than one shut-eye has fallen into his sleep much like this. Once so absolute, they become deaf to the outside world. With no means to sustain their bodies, they would waste away if left alone. There are people found a mixture of herbs and other materials that help usher the shut-eye back to the waking world. But what could possibly be strong enough to bring someone back from this? We call it spring dew, and the secrets of its makings are passed down through generations. Each drop acts as a ray of sunshine in the darkness of sleep, a beacon for the dreamer to follow. I carry some of the ingredients on my person, but others must be gathered fresh. It won't be an easy task, but I'm certain it will save Tent. I don't know the Eorzean name, but one of the flowers blooms a striking yellow and grows only where mountain peaks soar above the clouds. Being so close to the heavens, it drinks in the sunlight, and its petals cleanse the body and promote wakefulness. In a churning mist blooms a yellow flower called the dandelion. In other words, in no other place in Eorzea can one be closer to the touching sun. Good. Next we'll need the saliva of a beast we call morbles, and the thicker it is, the better. The pungent odor could wake the dead. Ah, I know them well. Morbles are not uncommon sight in the Gervanian hinterlands. A mature specimen should possess saliva with the desired effect. The prospect of gathering it, however, is an unenviable task. Once you have those two ingredients, mixing them with the rest should be a simple matter. Do you think you could procure them, Tulky? Oh, your confidence is reassuring. Since the Since the morble saliva must be the fresher of the two, I ask that you climb to the heavens and pick the dandelions for Tent. We really have to do the most ridiculous things, huh? You really just have us do the most ridiculous things. Let's swap the paladin right now. Also, I didn't know the second floor was walkable. I learned something new today. I never actually like bothered to look, but there were stairs back there. Learning many new things all through these roll quests. They're not very useful, but they're new things. Okay, those would be the dandelions. Sun-drenched dandelions shine in almost golden yellow. Now for a much more gruesome task, venture the Geranian hinterlands and collect saliva from the mouth of a fully grown marble. Okay. Was that so quick? I didn't even get to finish my magic combo. Then again, I am level 100, so I guess it's understandable. Level 100 with the rate weapon. Maybe it is understandable. Although the rest of my gear is pretty bad, but it's okay. I'm ready to start mixing the ingredients at once. That is, of course, assuming you brought them with you. These are difficult to acquire at the best of times, so thank you for gathering them so quickly. I should get started immediately. We've done all we can. Now we wait for Tenth to open his eyes. Where am I? I hope you enjoyed sleeping the days away, Tenth. And I'm glad you're finally awake. What is Inique? What are you doing here? I see, so Leophany wielded the cradle against me, and while I was tucked soundly in bed, while Inique came all this way. What the heck is going on? My cat is attacking. Don't know what. Here's my weakness. Just when we had her, just when I was needed the most, I failed. For 10 years, I endured countless trials, and when the time came, I couldn't even swing my damn weapon. Not your fault, Hunt. If anyone's to blame for what's happened, it's me. I don't know what my cat's after. He keeps jumping at stuff. Oh, I see. He's chasing after a fly. Never mind. No, I won't hear it. As you may know, Leophany won our trust by posing as a scholar, traveling the width and breadth of Tyrol. She expressed great interest in the cradle and our customs, and I was so excited to meet an outsider that I answered her every question. I told her the wide eye keeps the cradle with them at all times, and then she hatched her plan. She took me hostage to draw a tent. While Loazenique was sleeping, Leophany snuck into her chamber and held a blade to her throat. I had no choice but to give her what she wanted, the cradle of the sleepless. I put Loazenique's life before the future of our people. It was at that moment I became unfit to be their guardian. Oh, she is one of your people. Protecting her is your duty. Thank you, Tulky. You know just what to say. That was the only way to see a future where none of my people come to harm, especially Loazenique. Even without the cradle, you're still our guardian. My guardian. We'll find a way through this together. Being in such high spirits lifts my own. Oh, and before I forget, you trounced Leophany's thugs while I was streaming in the snow, didn't you? I owe you a debt I won't soon forget. and I wager that death will grow larger before we pry the treasure from Leofani's clutches. Whatever it takes, I won't stop until she's answered for her crimes. You know, while I was sleeping, I dreamed. I saw Loazinique and I as children. Nothing particularly interesting happened. We just whiled the days away without a care in the world. I'd forgotten what it was like to dream. It was pleasant. I can remember wanting to stay there, to never open my eyes again. Of course, the moment I gave form to that thought, I opened them and Loazinique was there. Even if we get the cradle back, will things return to the way they were? Will you go back to spending your life in dreams? I suppose so. It's my duty as a shut-eye, after all. Your duty, and it was your duty too, that compelled you to come all the way here to Ishgard. But no more. What are you saying? I tried so hard to convince myself that you were glad spending so much time asleep, but being on the other side made me realize I was lying to myself all along. I don't want to return to a life where you and I are bound together, but always so far apart. I want to go back to those happy days where we were by each other's side. I guess what I'm saying is, if there's a different path for us, I want to find it. And want to walk it with you. Cute. But not yet. First we reclaim the cradle, and when we have it, we'll take our first step toward the new future, I promise. I must confess, I haven't felt the same since I woke up. I know I was in bed for a while, but instead of feeling refreshed, my body feels weaker somehow. It's almost as if my very strength was sapped when the treasure was turned on me, but I can't even grip my weapon properly. She had remarked she was invigorated. And does that mean the cradle has powers we don't know about? Not exactly. It may just mean the cradle works differently than we thought. Its wielder might not pass on their fatigue, rather they absorb another's vigor. The end effect would be the same. The cradle's wielder can go on without sleep, and its victim loses the strength to even keep their eyes open. You never took more than you needed, so my slumber was always light enough to awaken from, but the treasure was used without restraint. If you've had this realization, it won't be long until Leofani does too. And then it would be too late. We have to root her out. But I mustn't rush ahead blindly, as Loazinique never tires of telling me. I feel nearly weak as a child right now. I must spend what precious time we have training to regain what strength Leofani stole from me. You have my word, I won't rest until I'm in top form again. I suggest that you do the same. if for no other reason than to give me some stiff competition. Awakened, not stirred. Interesting quest name. You're looking strong, Tulky. Well, I'm not. Well, I'm. Well, I'm not my old self yet. I'm feeling better by the day. Still, there's much work to be done. I need to be even better than I was before, if we're to have any hope on catching Leophany. I wonder what she's plotting with the rest of her cohorts. We know they aim to topple nations around the world, but this is an odd way to go about it, don't you think? Why haven't her misdeeds in Ishgard extended any farther than the Temple Knights? We pondered that same question. Our best guess was that as a former Temple Knight herself, she chose them because she knows how to exploit their weaknesses. She's using her knowledge as her weapon, and we need to equip ourselves likewise. If we can learn more about her, we might be able to anticipate her next move. Good plan, but I admit I have no idea where to start. Should we ask Firmabert? I already have. He said that while he never knew her personally, the knights in her old squadron might be able to shed light onto her past. Some of them even now patrol the city, and Firmabert was a great help in telling me where they might be. You've been busy, was Anique. Well, I can't remember the last time I was awake this long. I didn't want to sit around until I got tired again. And we're all better for it. Since you've gathered the information, it's only fitting I should do the legwork. Just tell me where the knights are and I'll speak with them. Gladly, but Ishgard is still an unfamiliar city for both of us, right? Although Firmabert told me where to go, the names of these places mean nothing to me. Luckily, we have Tulky to guide you. You'll go with 10, won't you? I knew we could count on you. Alright, take note of these locations. Being forced to work with someone like Leophany isn't a fate I would envy. I'm curious to hear what the knights have to say about her. Hopefully they provide insight and will help guide us forward. This time is of the essence, Tulky. Let's get moving. Where are we going? Okay, not too far. Congregation, the main Aetherytes, and then the pillars. Okay. Oh, they're upstairs. Oh man. Really abusing the second floor there's, huh? That I knew nothing about. Now this is a rare privilege. What business could the savior of Ishgard have with a humble knight? You want to know about Leophany? Well, many temple knights come from a common stock, but she was different. Despite what she became, Leophany was born of noble blood. Even so, she often made mock of Ishgard's customs and the responsibilities that bound the conduct of noble families. Doubtless, she yearned for freedom all her life, or her idea of it anyways. Although her deeds caused her to be expelled from the Temple Knights and summarily stripped of her title, she may have actually desired that outcome. If she hated it so much here, all she had to do was leave. I hear she did leave, for a time at least. Now she's in league with a group that aims to plunge the world into chaos. If a selfish heart like Leophany was sought out to aid in this plot, I shudder to imagine how wicked their leader might be. You require aid. I must keep watch, so forgive me if I don't engage in idle chit-chat. Leophany. For her, I can spare a moment. I don't suppose you know why she was expelled from the Temple Knights, do you? While few were her equal in swordplay, and fewer still handled their mounts with such grace, she often spent her nights carousing in the gambling halls. It was after just such a night that she fell asleep while on duty. Some may call it a cruel twist of fate, but dragons attacked her charges as she slept, and they were left defenseless. In her negligence, she was deemed to have aided our ancestral foe, and thus was stripped of her knighthood and noble title both. Knights falling asleep on duty, a story that's become all too familiar. Given what happened, I've no doubt she came to fear sleep. And now she has conquered that weakness, and she wields it as a weapon against us. She may even believe herself to be beyond the reach of a mortal danger. Yet she's only deluding herself, and in time she'll be made to answer for her deeds. Interesting. So that's why she was kicked out. I've heard that the people of Ishgard revere a warrior god, but here's a statue of a flesh and blood knight. I've never seen such a thing. My people make no figures or depictions of our departed, fearing that objects would keep them from finding their way to the next world. The only idol we keep is a cradle of the sleepless, and thanks to its blessing, a wide eye has always watched over us. So our reverence is devoted solely to the narwhal. It's enough that it guides our people safely to the next sunrise. All is quiet, even so I must remain vigilant. Leophany, eh? The name spoke of in hushed whispers now, but many have forgotten her strategic genius. She had a singular talent for achieving victory in battle by whatever means necessary. Genius. Maybe we're too dense to see how her action would cause Ishgard to collapse. Given that her group seems relatively few in number, an assault on Ishgard is unlikely. Rather, I think her aim is to chip away at the people's trust in Ishgard's foundation, and by the absence of a few vital bricks, bring the whole nation tumbling down. The thought gives me worry. Even now, representatives from Ishgard are preparing to visit Oak Sandu in a sea of clouds. If anything were to go wrong, it would be a grievous blow to Ishgard's reputation. As we saw at Falcon's Nest, certain elements that oppose our nation see friendly gestures as a chance to spark conflict. Given recent developments, Sir Handaloop has been debating whether the visit is a wise choice. But we have a general understanding of what drives our adversary. Stories that paint a picture of a rotten, conniving soul. Who's been hard on the Lord Commander? The Lord Commander? I take it that's the leader of these Temple Knights. While fancy titles hold little interest for me, I sympathize for anyone who had to give orders to a rotten apple like Leophany. Giving the Temple Knights a warning is the least we can do. It's clear that this delegation, might prove an enticing target for Leophany. Finally, we have the knowledge to use against our enemy. If we all work together, we might be able to trap her. We haven't much time. Let's return to the congregation and tell this Handaloop what we know. Thankfully, this guy follows me. If I take date right. Walking all the way there is not enough play. Way too far. You are ever welcome in the congregation, Tulky. I am well apprised of Leophany's wicked deeds, and your efforts to flush her out have been much appreciated. And this must be Master Tent, who crossed the ocean from Tyrell. I hope you have recovered from your ordeal. I'm better than ever. Apologies for taking up one of your beds for so long. Please, no apologies are necessary. On the contrary, the Temple Knights yet owe you a debt for all you have done. Which brings us to the purpose of this visit. You had something to discuss with me. I see. You and I had the same doubts. The delegation to Okuzondu would be an obvious target for Leofni. I was but recently debating the wisdom of moving forward with our plans. As you know, all of Ishgard falls under the protection of the Temple Knights. As such, 'tis only meet that we maintain and strengthen friendly relations with our neighbors. The delegation in question is tasked with deepening mutual understanding of each of our unique cultures. Tonufanu, chief of the Zundu, was most eager to host. Yet so long as the specter of Leofni hangs over our order, I fear visits abroad are unwise. Should any of the Vanu come to harm, our relations could be damaged irreparably. As we have no way of knowing if Leofni has caught wind of our plans, I am of mind that postponing the delegation may be the most prudent course of action for the safety of all. It could also be the perfect chance to draw her out. That's right. Tulky and I won't let anyone come to harm. As long as you warn Vanu in advance, they shouldn't hold the actions of a rogue against you. If they're truly your allies, they'll see the wisdom in your judgment. Please send a delegation as planned. It'll be the best chance to capture Leofni. Yes, your words have merit. Thank you for the sage counsel. You're right. The Zundu will not stand idly by while we suffer at Leofni's hand. In fact, the fellowship between our two people was forged when a god assailed their home and was brought low by a great hero, Tulky. We tell the Zundu that she is keeping watch over the proceedings, but I'm certain all doubts will be quelled. And you'll proceed. Indeed, time has come for we Temple Knights to reclaim our honor and go on a counteroffensive. I shall bring the suggestion of a joint operation against Leofni to the Lord Commander as soon as possible. Thank you. Together we'll put a stop to her scheme. I first must discuss matters with the others involved before we present a plan to the Lord Commander. Although time is of the essence, I ask that you wait a while until our course is settled. Well, looks like we know what the final fight is. I realize now that I agreed to defend a people I know next to nothing about. How many of these Sandu will soon be visiting? They're like the Hanu with even more of a penchant for a metaphor. Really, two groups of such people so far apart. The world really is full of surprises. Even a single city is enough for a lifetime. Every day I hear something that gives me food for thought. Like the story of the Dragon Song War, for instance. Generations of animosity between dragon and man that somehow ended in a rekindled friendship. I imagine the whole world like that. A world where there'd be no need for protectors. The wide eye watches not only the monsters in the wilderness, but our neighbors as well. We barely even considered sending delegations outside our village gates. And the cold snap only made things worse. With everyone struggling just to survive, our every thought goes towards defending our scarce resources. If we only look outwards with wariness, there's no hope for the future to change. No hope to build trust. If only there was a way to bridge the distance between us and reach tomorrow hand in hand. But maybe that's just a silly dream. Maybe. Either way, it's a beautiful thought. I'm glad you think so. I'll hold that future in mind as I get back to training. As for you, Tulky, get some rest. If you fall asleep when I need you the most, I'll wake you up with a knock to the head. Um, that's not very nice. There are better ways to wake someone up than just bonk them in the head. Sir Handaloop still hasn't sent a word. I guess the others might not be so enthusiastic about our plan. To them, the Crate of the Sleepless is naturally still something to be feared, no matter how much faith they have in your strength. You'd be at Leophanie's mercy if she put you to sleep. Honestly, I don't blame them. Not even I imagine our treasure could be used for such evil. In Leophanie's hands, it's no more than an indiscriminate weapon. But that means when we get it back, we can turn it into something else. Something no one's ever thought of before. We can find a way to use it without forcing someone to spend their life in slumber. Of course I agree with you, Tent, but we have more pressing matters. Namely, a rogue knight to capture and a treasure to recover. Right. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Apologies for keeping you waiting so long. Temple Knights have finally reached a decision concerning the delegation to the Sea of Clouds. And what have you decided? I'm pleased to say that the Zundu have agreed to join forces with us. Together we shall drive back Leophanie should she attack. If her shadow darkens even an ilm of their homeland, our peaceful delegation shall turn into a fighting force at a moment's notice. We shall restore the Temple Knight's reputation and recover your artifact in one fell swoop. Thank you, Handaloop. We promise to do our part if Leophanie shows herself. She won't get away this time. We have but to hammer out the finer details. Once we are ready to depart, the first group of knights shall leave by airship. I would ask you both to make your way to Oak Sundu as soon as possible, so you may help plan our strategy. I'm coming too. I can heal your wounds, and if it comes to it, my staff can bruise as well as a club. I'll gladly have you with us. I'm done taking on the world alone. I need you, well, Loaze Nikwe and Tulky too. We're stronger together than we could ever be apart. Your cradle never would have been stolen if I'd realized that from the beginning. And I want you by my side to ensure that I don't forget it. Well then, we better be off. I'm keen to meet this Chief Sonovanu. Honored Netherling, your return to Oksundu is as welcome as the arrival of spring. Saru knows why you come. Wicked hearts seek to bring chaos to our home. And so the Zundu shall rise to its defense if needed. As the sun's ray chase away the shadow of night, the sun-drop dance shall keep the tendrils of sleep at bay. Chief Sonovanu, it's an honor to meet you. I'm intent, and if this sun-drop dance is as invigorating as you say, I'll love to see it for myself. The Zundu shall dance before Ishgard's warriors on their arrival. Brave Tent is welcome to join the proceedings. That was your original intent, right? I see. If we're to draw Leophany out, it makes sense to pretend like nothing is amiss. Then the warriors unify their strength through the sun drop dance. The sight is so fearsome that many choose to flee rather than fight. Netherling warriors may learn much from such an approach. Breaking the enemy's spirit avoids needless bloodshed. Yet all dancers must hone their skills before wild animals first, so the sun drop dance does not fail them at the most crucial moments. It is for that reason our dancers await at the outskirts of Oksundu for the Netherling's arrival. When the performance begins, it shall draw out the attention of all like a roiling cloud coming over the horizon. Watch carefully for any who would take advantage of the moment. After the dance is finished, Netherling will present Sandu with Chief Sanu. Netherling's ship appears in the skies like sudden sun shower, hurtling towards Earth. Swiftly it descends, crashing down near Sandu dancers. Ship's markings are Ishgardian. Sandu are unhurt, but wounded Netherling pour from vessel. Like a lightning bolt in the sky, Leophany strikes. The Temple Knights were coming by airship, right? All Leophany had to do was lull the pilot to sleep. She saw right through us. Now we're on the back foot. Great winds can alter even a raging river's course. What matters is to stand strong and move forward. And now we must offer aid to the Netherlings who come as guests. Right, let's go. This is the work of the cradle. Leophany can't be far. We must tend to the wounded, but I won't let her escape again. This ends today, one way or the other. $680 eye level. Or over 680. There you are, Leophany. You came all this way just to greet me. Oh, I am honored. I only hope my gift was satisfactory. It is a shame you will not see Ishgard crumble. Alas, I can scarcely suffer rats to scurry about my feet, threatening to gnaw away at my carefully laid plans. At least you bear witness to the dying breath of the Temple Knight's flagging honor. You would sooner see that the wrecked airship soar again than the reputation return to its former glory. And even I did not foresee that the Zundu would be in the ship's path. The Fury favors me for who now would trust a nation so careless as to put their neighbors at risk? Everyone knows you're behind this. People won't turn on each other so easily. Oh, I didn't see you there. The shut-eye wide awake. Doubly honored I am that you came all this way just to meet your end. Enough. We're taking the cradle back. We won't let your evil continue any longer. Such bold words. If I recall correctly, your people reaped great benefits from this artifact's power. All at the cost of someone's waking life. Your life. Pray do not misunderstand me. That was not meant to be a denouncement of your people. On the contrary, they have my utmost respect. We are bound by our very nature. No matter how mighty we become, we are slaves to the whims of sleep. Yet this artifact can sunder those shackles and grant true freedom. It makes its wielder stronger and their enemies weak. A perfect weapon, if you ask me. Can't say whether using the cradle is right or wrong. I only know that a life lived at the cost of another is no life at all. You're right about one thing. We're bound by our nature. But it doesn't shackle us. It bonds us. It brings us together. And whether I'm awake or asleep, as long as Lois and Nikwe is by my side, that's the life I want. Yeah, sure, no quarter. It's kinda lame. She exhausted the cradle's power on the Temple Knights. This is our chance. No plan is without its wrinkles, I suppose. Fortunately, I prepared for all contingencies. She's so smug. You had an opportunity to live a quiet life, but I will not give it again. This time I shall send you into a slumber from which you will never wake. She's so smug. Kinda hate it. Not gonna hold. Give back the cradle or we'll take it back. All bluster as usual. Take it if you dare. Oh, okay. Wait, how did the sun drop dance? Why did there be shard stuff? Or Silo quests, or the heck they're called now? Did they really wake up from this? Oh my eyes. Oh my gosh. Yo. No one said it'd be a flashback. Oh my gosh. Everyone's awake. I would hope so. That was bright. How? Immense power. Oh, interesting. That did no damage to me. Oh, I don't have reprisal. Never mind. The artifact swells with power. It begs to be released. Now you shut your eyes for the final time. Take a last glimpse of the waking world. No, okay. um. Trying to sleep. I think this piece of wood is for protection. Such a cloying sentiment. First insects you lot. Finish them off, earn your freedom. High level am I in? Oh, I'm way over. Hey, get over here. Can you do damage to me, man? Sundu go to help allies may suffer wins. Right. Sleep is inexorable. How are you doing this? I guess it's gonna also cover the city. Could have guessed. Who could have guessed this is gonna happen? I wonder if this will do damage to me. Oh wow, it actually does damage. Not enough. Wow, they actually make you interject something. That's crazy. Did not expect them to make me interject something. But they did. I think interrupt isn't used enough in a lot of raids. I like it when interrupts has to be used. Make sure you actually use your full kit. He's stubborn. He may have won today, but this is not over. Yes, it is. Oh, Off to sleep we go. Damned fool. No. Oh. Release your artifact just from dodging, that is. You have some terrible grip. Say goodnight, Leofni. I thought it has to rest after being used. What happened to that? Oh. The wide eye watches eternal. And eternal is a sleep it bestows. We finally stopped there. Yes, but we have someone else to worry about. Tulky, wake up. Are you alright? Ah, only she would smile at a time like this. Well, I think the Zundu has a flashbang. I hope I don't have to see. Oh god, I have to say it third time, huh? Please don't be as bright this time. Oh, thank goodness it wasn't a flashbang. She's awake. Netherling looks hale as a warrior in their prime. Good. Our wicked foes fled from the Sundrop dance like the twilight before dawn. Your work is done, Tulky. You did a commendable job as our shield, and now you can lay down your burden. It was thanks to your bravery that I was able to deal the final blow to Leofni. And with the cradle back in our possession, I think we can consider this expedition across the seas to be a success. The Zundu helped us gather the wounded and see them safely off Dishguard. We couldn't have done it without you. Netherlings protect allies as fiercely as Galekat protects kittens. Zundu are moved by your might. You are equally as impressive. I should learn the Sundrop dance myself, though I won't strike a figure half as fierce as yours. The Zundu seem to have everything well in hand, and Handaloop is likely eager to see us. We should return to Ishgard as soon as we can. So what about her? Where'd the griffin go? They find a griffin or what? He just flew away? Ah, the heroes of the days have returned. Thanks to your valor, the threat Leofni posed is no more. What's more, not a single life was lost. On behalf of the Temple Knights, allow me to express my utmost gratitude to you all. You don't owe me any thanks. After all, it was my fault that the cradle was stolen in the first place. And ultimately my fault that your delegation to Oak Sundu turned into a melee. It may be true that our visit to the Sea of Cloud was far from peaceful, but the bond between the Sundu and the Temple Knight has only deepened through overcoming mutual adversity. Blessings often take inscrutable forms. And while we know not whether Leofni yet lives, we do know that she can no longer reach the source of her ill-gotten power, so we have little more to fear from her. With the crisis behind us, the common folk no longer have aught to fear. We will make known the story of Leofni's schemes and the heroes who worked to foil them. In time, I hope then that the trust in our order will be restored. Temple Knights shall continue to build relations with our neighbors for years to come. Relations which shall form the foundation for Ishgard's future. We would be honored if we could count you among our allies in this endeavor. Anything you need, simply call upon us. We'll be there, no questions asked. And with that, it's time we return home. It's been an honor. We'll be passing through Tuliolol on our way back, Tulky. If you have business in those parts, we'd love to speak with you at Shibalyev Tea before setting off. See you soon, hopefully. So we don't know if she lived. Well, she probably still lives. I'm sure the Griffin did just let her fall to her death, right? Surely. Okay, before we go to Toral, I want to double check what I actually need. Because I need to check what I actually need for Crown. I know the role quest is what I need for Combat Mentor, but I don't remember what I need for Crafter Mentor. And I'll have to do that in the downtime. All the while, I need to level my retainers so they can get me crafting materials. I don't have to spend bicolors on them. Which would be nice. It's just orange script that I need. I have a couple farms I know I can do, and that's not a worry. Usually the orange script is only for craft or the food. Crafted food. This thing. Others are actually pretty easy to get. Get this off fishing. Where are you? Smith. What do I need? Oh. I have Trade Mentor, okay. We accept. And the other one is just roll quests. Okay. Which will be done soon. Working toward at least the tank one's done. So, work towards the other ones. Tulky, there you are. I was afraid we wouldn't see you before we left. We arrived not too long ago, when the prize broke a view of everything that happened. This is the longest I've spent away from our village, but even though Tuliolal and Ishgard were entirely different worlds to me, I was only ever treated with kindness. Is anything the matter, Tent? Nothing. It's just something I've been thinking about. Our people have always been self-sufficient, but Ishgardians and Izundu showed that looking to your neighbor can reveal a way through the harshest difficulties. Have you heard? And you heard Handaloo. The bond between Ishgard and Oksundu was only made deeper through their shared ordeal. To trust another to such a degree, well, I think it's a goal we should all strive toward. We have at least one friend like that, don't we? She who bent her ears to every note of the narwhal's lullaby, without a shade of fear in her eyes. Thank you, Tulky. For believing in us for believing that no matter the outcome, your actions will not be in vain. In so doing, you taught me the worth of fighting alongside allies you can trust. Even if your shield breaks, that's not the end. You're right. It's our faith in our allies and our faith in us that gives us the courage to protect each other. I wonder if that line was supposed to refer to Horsefont. Even if your shield break, it's not the end. Maybe it is. Maybe it is to call him. Very interesting thought. Not quite sure if it is or not. Won't know if that ever will be, because I doubt that'll ever be answered, but interesting thought nonetheless. But approaching someone with open arms doesn't mean they'll accept you. The relations between our people and our neighbors have been strained by generations of mistrust. We must take care to mend them properly. If we can do that and learn to look towards the future hand in hand, then there will be no need to use a cradle ever again. Perhaps people can sleep and dream untroubled and awaken with bright eyes. I want to see those days come to pass. Me too. Then you and I can finally spend more time together. Right, of course. We're going to see this future, then we should get back to our village. They'll be overjoyed to see the cradle return. Thank you for everything, Tulky. Next time we meet, may we both have good news to share. Next one is healer. Should pick up. One sec. Pick up scholar gear. At least the what's it called? Artifact. I do have inventory space, right? No. Damn it. Okay. Enough space now. At least for now. Healer. Scholar. The scholar gear look like? Doesn't actually look too bad. We'll keep it for now. I actually don't think it looks bad. All the paladin gear looks exactly the same, so it's like... I feel like they haven't changed their artifact gear in like forever. What business do you have with me? Ah, my apologies. You're Brook Evu's guest, were you not? I am... Naipine? and I've journeyed far from the northern valleys of Shaktural to reach this grand city. Tell me, traveler, what is your name? Tulky. Rest assured, I shall remember it. A shame that we must meet under these unfortunate circumstances. My village's prized possession was among the treasures stolen by the passage of the Unbound. It is known as a heart sting, and the soul of a dread scorpion, one of the Thrall Vidral, sealed within. The creature once hunted its prey using an array of toxins produced within its body, and was a menace to all. Those granted the Heartsting's gifts may wield its fearsome power as they see fit. We believe that thieves have already taken it across the ocean to Eorzea, and will doubtlessly wreak havoc in the wrong hands. Thus I seek healer to remedy any harm wrought by the Heartsting's toxins in that faraway land. I won't mince words. You are precisely the sort of woman I seek. We must act quickly to avoid the worst. Will you lend us your aid? Aiding those in need is what I do, but you have my gratitude. The matter at hand, then. While I was making inquiries here in Tuliolal regarding the thieves' whereabouts, some Eorzean merchant told me a rather intriguing tale. Specifically, those returning from Limsa Lominsa bring fell tidings. Tales of an ill-bodied men and women suddenly losing their vision. An all too familiar account, as a Heartsting allows mastery over all manner of poisons, including those that inflict temporary blindness. A great deal of training is required to properly utilize the Scorpion's gifts, but the blinding toxin is one of the simplest to yield. It seems to me the brigands are the masterminds of these strange incidents, harnessing the treasure's power for their own nefarious ends. Shakana? The village elder's daughter makes for Limsa Lominsa in pursuit of the Heartsting. I intended to set sail with her, but my foot was badly injured by a strange mechanical doll during the thieves' ambush. Let's go name her Kana. Kana insisted I remain here to recover, and she would not take no for an answer. I must ask that you cross the sea in my stead and provide Kana with your aid. Considering that our enemy wields deadly poisons, the danger is too great for her to face alone. Based on when she departed, I presume she arrived at her destination by now. She boarded by a merchantman captained by a woman named Baldabrida, who is primarily based in Limsa Lominsa. She may be able to help you locate Kana. Oh, off to Limsa. Maybe I used my return already. Is that melee? Might be melee. I did range cast, yeah, it's melee. Did the rest of them already. I did range and I did caster. Hi, I'm Bald Breda, and if you're planning to sell your healing services to me and my crew, don't. Me ship ain't send sail for a short while. Looking for a trolley woman named Kana. Aye, she made the crossing with us, trying to retrieve some sort of treasure as I recall. I told her Hawker's Alley was her best bet for the latest chatter, but you may find her wandering thereabouts. Keep an eye out for Huron lass in a red tunic, carrying a spear on her back. She can't have gone too far. Scholar needs... Oh wait, I have expedience. I say Scholar needs a dash, but I'm like, wait, I have expedience for that. A second sprint. Is she above or below? Okay, above. Oh, hello there, stranger. Can I help you? Nipine? I still don't know how to pronounce that name. Send you to help, did you? Did he? Seeing as I've hit something of a dead end, your timing couldn't be better. I suppose proper introductions are in order, then. I'm Kana of Shaktral, and you are? A pleasure to meet you, Tulky. With that, we're strangers no longer. I'm not sure how much Nipine already told you, but I assume you'll want to hear more about the day of that theft. My father and Nipine had just set a trap using one of the Heartsting's toxins, and were on their way to return the treasure to its resting place. An evil presence stirred in the wilds that night. Mechanical dolls with great glowing eyes leapt from the shadows and gravely wounded them both. Father survived the encounter, thankfully, but he was unable to give chase, and convalescence now in my home village. The culprit's faces eluded him in the darkness. We heard two voices, a man's and a woman's. He recognized neither, so we're certain they aren't from our village. Whoever those two were, they must have been the ones controlling the dolls, or making off with the Heartsting. Rook Evu said they're part of the passage of the Unbound. I'm afraid that's all I know of the culprits. Still, that may change if I can ascertain the cause of the recent blinding incidents that have occurred here. Unfortunately, I haven't had much luck asking around. The thought of addressing even one person here is, well, overwhelming. When you're from a remote village like mine, the few I've attempted to speak with were too busy to even listen in the first place. You, on the other hand, look ready to take on the world, or at least the city. I'm sorry to ask this of you so soon after we met, but could you help me gather the latest hearsay of the markets? Many thanks. I'll search the quieter districts for the clues in the meantime, and hopefully not get myself lost along the way. Okay. Go both directions. The recent chaos in the markets. I'm told the Yellow Jackets have been thoroughly investigating the matter in cooperation with the Adventurers Guild. If you're in a hurry, there's a Yellow Jacket making her rounds by the way of the Fisherman's Guild. It'd be a good one to ask. Blinding incidents. I know of them. Started with some bad fruit at a stall in Hawker's Alley. A few bites in, and folks suddenly go writhing on the ground like beached sea serpents. I mean, they can't see a bloody thing. I don't blame them for raising hells with the shopkeep, either. Poor sods couldn't move an elm till the treatment came and they could see it properly. The shopkeep was rightly furious about the whole ordeal and took it up with his longtime supplier. Escalated into a real spectacle. It did. Turns out the same problem was occurring at other stalls, and with fruit from different suppliers. So it don't make sense to pin the blame on individual sellers if the whole supply chain's tainted. Even now, nobody knows what's causing it. We're in business, I tell you. Fruit, huh? I didn't think it was fruit that caused this. Oh yes, I know about the blinding incidents. I experienced it firsthand. I was rather peckish, so I purchased some fruit from a local stall and took a few bites on my way home. But before I knew it, my vision went dark. I stood there shaking and crying, terrified what would happen if the darkness never faded. I thought I was alone until I heard a woman nearby howling with laughter. Fortunately, I didn't suffer for long. A passing adventurer cured my sight with Asuna, and I went about the rest of my day as though nothing happened. But I haven't been able to look at the fruit the same way since. The investigation of Hawker's Alley has proven successful, but he sense there is more to be found. Seek out the Yellow Jacket on patrol, who may have further details on the blinding incidents. Casting Isuna. Oh, is this T? I actually use that button. Both be good. You're Tulky Estrella, aren't you? The Tulky Estrella. It's an honor to meet the realm's vaunted hero up close. Is there aught I can assist you with? I hear all sorts on my rounds, so if it's information you're after, you come to the right person. Oh yes, the serial blindings. They're causing a terrible ruckus around here. You know, a woman in red came this way a few moments ago asking about the very same. They take you two are acquainted. Aha, I thought so. As I told her, another incident was reported yesterday morning. The victim bought fruit from a local vendor. A few bites, then temporarily lost all vision, same as the rest. The vendor in question was last seen in the south of the Octans, so I'm headed there next to follow their trail. You're welcome to join me if it will help your investigation. He's paralyzed. We've got to do something. I have no talent for healing magic, and I don't have any spine drops on me. Perhaps the Suna might do the trick. Gosh, we actually have to cast the Suna. It's crazy. I'm healed. I'm healed. We'll take the 12, and you lot, of course. Excellent work, Tulky. On behalf of the Yellow Jackets, I owe you my thanks as well. Now, I hate to ruin the mood, but I'll need to report this to my superiors. Could you tell us what transpired here before we found you, sir? It was awful. Just awful, I tell you. I was walking home after another arduous day at work, minding my own business, when a Lala-felon merchant suddenly called out to me. You, my good man, look exhausted, he said. Why not soothe your weary spirit and fill your empty belly with one of the realm's sweetest apples? You've earned it. Nay, you deserve it. It was a tempting sales pitch, but I wasn't keen on gambling on potentially cursed fruit. Sensing my apprehension, he proudly declared his merchandise safe to eat. He sounded sincere enough, even took a bite of the apple himself. No tainted fruit here, he boasted. Just normal, honest-to-God's produce. He sold me the apple at a reasonable discount, and all seemed well. That is until I took my first bite, and numbness spread through my body like wildfire. I collapsed to the ground, struggling to speak a single word. The vendor and his fruit had suddenly betrayed me, yet I knew not how. As I fell, a woman's shrill laughter echoed from a few yalms away, and the vendors soon followed. I never saw the woman for myself. What was with the whole not being able to move business, but between her laughing fits, she made a mention of heartsting, or some such. Oh, you poor dear. And this woman you mentioned, you're positive she spoke the word heartsting. As surely as the wind blows, For mercy, neither she nor her vendor friend tried to steal my belongings, but they certainly stole my dignity. I hope those conniving charlatans get what's coming to them. And this is dangerous fruit we're dealing in. First blindness, now paralysis. First things first, I should escort this man home. If you have a mind to pursue the perpetrators further, then have care out there, alright? I guess I'll collect this as white meat. There's no doubt about it, then. Our thieves are at large right here in Limsalominsa. The blinding toxin is simple enough to master, but it's unsettling how quickly they've learned to inflict paralysis as well. I just don't see the purpose that this all serves. We're able to learn anything of their motives. They take pleasure in the victim's pain, but nothing more. At least nothing more that we know of. Whatever their true aim may be, we must discover it quickly, before more victims suffer at their hands. A hunter must adapt their environment if they wish to snare their prey, but I have so much to learn about this place. Still, I've tracked them this far, which is a good start. For the time being, I'd like to petition those officers in yellow for any new information they acquire on the Heartsting's whereabouts. When we come across any promising leads, I hope I can count on your support again. And now we're back to Scholar. Say, Tulky, can you spare a moment? I'll try to start on a positive note then. The good news is that there have been no further incidents involving poisoned fruit. I should be happy about that, but it's not exactly conducive to tracking down our thieves. Despite my best attempts, my investigation is at a standstill. Tulky. I bring news from the Coral Tower. While a felon man matching the description of the fruit vendor was seen leaving the city for a Iran woman, it seems they are making for Elport. We've increased patrols of late, though if I had to guess, the culprits are finding it harder to operate within the city. Seems we forced them to withdraw for the time being. Elport, you say? That's on this island, isn't it? Yes, that's right. It's possible to go on foot, but the ferry by the Ferry Fishermen's Guild can take you straight there. While we Yellow Jackets must continue to keep an eye on things here, it's reassuring to know an adventurer of Tulky's caliber is on the case. You plan to pursue the suspects, Elport's your best bet. That said, I should get back to work. It was an honor to meet you and your friend, Tulky. Safe travels to you both, and give those crooks a good thrashing for me. The city's protectors place so much trust in your abilities. I'm lucky to have you on my side. When I first set sail for Eorzea, I feared I'd never see the Heartsting again, but we're one step closer to bringing it home. In any event, we'd best find our way to the port town before that pair of troublemakers defiles another fruit supply. I'll go on ahead and take the ferry. Meet me in Elport once you're ready. Ah, there you are, Tulky. You're a welcome sight amongst such unfamiliar scenery. The ferry skipper was eager to teach me all about this area on a ride here. So I believe I have a general idea of what's what. Wouldn't want to lose my bearings on a hunt this important. I asked him about our merchants, but he said he hadn't seen a pair like that. The skipper did mention another merchant, though. One who's well versed in the comings and goings of his fellow traders. If anyone's sighted our unlikely duo, it's him. Let's hope it's enough to put us on the culprit's trail again. The merchants we seek should be peddling his wares by the gates to Skull Valley. So let's start there. Can I help you? A Lala Felon and a here traveling together. I spied them, but I'd never seen them before. They certainly made an impression. They sold some potions and elixirs to a pair of fresh-faced adventurers on cheap, from what I could tell. Those merchants really are culprits, then those potions are most likely tainted with toxins. Toxins, you say? That don't bode well. The adventurers who bought them, a marauder named Solom and a conjurer named Cervig, already left for their next job. Said they were escorting one of the local farmers over to Swiftperch. They're good lads, the two of them. They've been making life easier for the small folk here ever since they arrived, and I hate to see something happen to them. Someone needs to warn them about them potions right quick. Leave that to us. Swiftperch is southeast of here, yes? Let's find them before the potion takes hold. Oh, mammoths. Phew, thank the gods you found us when you did. Those potion sellers must have swindled us. One draught of elixir was all it took to send Zerig into the most furious fit of hiccups I've ever seen. Poor bastard couldn't cast a single spell. Who are you calling a poor bastard? The heart stings toxins are at work here. We should be able to cleanse them with Asuna just like last time. I'm sorry, did you say? Oh, sod it. We'll have plenty of time to chat after Zerig stops hiccuping up a storm. I hate to ask more of you, but if you could cast Asuna on my partner, I'll be much appreciated. I can speak again. You have my thanks. Bloody hells. First we waste our hard-earned coin on poisoned potions, and now there are killer mammoths on the loose. What's the world coming to? Who goes there? Show yourself. Oh me, oh my. Our spear-wielding friend is a sharp of eye. You're the frauds from Elport. Ah yes, and watching your scrawny compatriot suffer was the highlight of our day. I admit the poison was meant to silence him, but hiccups was comedy at its finest. Perhaps the elixir reacted with the venom. Regardless, we've had our fill of fun from the results, so I shan't complain. Venom, then you must be the thieving cowards from the passage of the Unbound. Oh, my sweet fairy apple, you know us. I suppose that means you are famous. I can't believe it. Oh, who am I kidding? Yes, I can. Indeed, I am the passage of the Unbound's alchemist extraordinaire, the illustrious Bellarette. I'm so very happy, very pleased to make your acquaintance. Koko Noa, at your service. Elaret's helping hand and master of mammoths. Your garb is ever so familiar to me, my dear. Ah, don't tell me. You hail from that low village in Tyrol, don't you? My goodness, you've come a long way. How was the voyage? Enjoying the sights? Enough. You got a lot of explaining to do. Starting with the reason you took the heart sting. Is this part of your organization's grand scheme? Well, the apple bites back. It's true that my unbound compatriots harbor lofty ambitions, yes, but I have no interest in overthrowing nations. I merely crave the mires of chaos they promise me. I aim to bring more laughter into this dreary world, one mischief and a few handy poisons at a time. Okonoa and I having oodles of fun expanding our repertoire of toxic treats. Yet there's no greater kill to our thrills than a healer who can whisk our hard work away. Unless, of course, I master a toxin even she can't cure. Ooh, I do love a challenge. Now I hate to leave you, my dears, but our work here is done. We have a busy schedule ahead of us. Mammoths to mend, venomous misdeeds to master. Ta-ta for now. No, wait, damn you. Oh. The stench. Smells like a corpse just shot itself. This odor is too much to bear. Take me home to Twelveswood. Why so? The air is clearer there. Oh no, don't you dare give out on me, Zarek. We still got a job to do. We mustn't keep our client waiting any longer. But we're in your debt. Thank you again for everything, Miss Anna, and this here is Tulky. Take care of each other out there. Much as I'd like to track down the Unbound, I know better than to tread further into their territory without a plan. For now, I think it best we return to Limsa Lominsa. Thank you for the support back there, Toki. Isuna truly does work wonders. And that Elarette, I can't stop thinking about what she said. My blood boils knowing that this is all some sick game to her. How dare she toy with the heart sting for her own amusement? Honestly, even the youngest children in my village have more sense. Still, we did make progress. Now that the villains have revealed themselves, it will be easier to give chase when they choose to make their next move. In any case, I'll keep you apprised of the latest news as soon as I hear it. We'll be back to the hunt before long. Oh, it's you, Tulky. You'll have to forgive the Tower Moon. I don't understand it. How is it that Eleret and Kokonoa can so grandiosely reveal their names and identities, yet I remain unable to track them down? I've been following the latest hearsay, but I haven't had much luck. Not a soul's seen them since the incident with Wysome and Zerg. But that's not to say I've given up entirely. Now that they know I'm on their trail, I suspect they're using my unfamiliarity with this island to their advantage. I dare say they're lying low outside the city. That's why I propose a trip to Morby Dry Docks. Folks here often speak of it, but I've yet to go there myself. So it seems as good a place as any. If you're game, I'll meet you there. Ah, there you are, Toki. While I was waiting for you, this fellow came asking for help. Sorry to trouble ye, but me little brother's gone missing and I could use a hand finding him. He said he wanted to see the ships I made, so I started showing him around. The next thing I knew, he was gone. That's brother got himself lost. Oh, that poor dear. I know we still have the heart sting to consider, but I'd like to search for this man's brother, if that's alright with you. Much appreciated. I'm sure we'll find him all the faster with your help. Ye have me thanks. Me brother wouldn't say boo to a goose, so I doubt he'd leave the docks on his own. He's got a mop of red hair like mine, so you'll know him when you see him. We'll keep an eye out. I know you're itching to search for him as well, but could I ask you to wait here in case he comes back? Let's split up so we can cover more ground. Good luck. I'm scared. Where are you? Huh? You're here to take me back to my brother. You found a little one, Tulky. I'm so glad he's safe. I just wanted to see the ships my brother was working on. I thought I could see him better from higher up, but I lost my way. Sounds like you've had quite the adventure. But you're very brave today, so I'll tell you a secret. Even grown-ups get lost. I have an awful time learning my way around somewhere new, even with a map. Really? I guess I'm not the only one. Smile. We like to see those. Now, your brother's very worried about you, so can you promise me you won't go wandering off on your own again? I promise. I should say sorry to my brother, too. Let's take him back, then. Okay. It's a very interesting detour to this story, I guess. You're lifesavers, both of you. You deserve a proper reward, but I ain't got much to offer at the moment. Oh, we're no need for coin. Just some information if you have it. You've seen hiring women and a law-felon man around the docks in recent days. One is an alchemist and the other is a goldsmith. They'd likely have a few mammoths with them as well. If not, have you heard any rumors of food or drink that causes ailments when you consume them? Blindness or numbness, perhaps? Afraid I haven't seen or heard anything or anyone like that. Sorry I couldn't be of more help to you. That's alright. Knowing they haven't been around the docks is equally helpful. Well, that's good at least. I'll be praying to the navigator you both find who you're looking for. Anyway, the two of us ought to be heading home. Thanks again for everything. Good fortunes and safe travels to you both. Still no word of the Unbound. The least we could help those brothers. Children often let their curiosity guide them, which means they'll naturally wander off on their own adventures. I don't blame that man for worrying as much as he did. Something tells me you speak from personal experience. I do, in fact. I'm the oldest sibling in my family. Can't tell you how many times I've had to search for my brothers and sisters when they were growing up. Now that I think on it, I've barely even told you about my family or my village, or anything really. I'd be happy to share a few stories if you'd like. The ocean view here is beautiful, so we may as well enjoy the scenery and relax a bit. My people hail from the northern valleys of Shaktaral. We're a close-knit community of hunters, for the most part. Children are given spears, well, practice ones, before they even learn to walk. We hone our tracking skills from a very young age. Is it that surprising? It seemed second nature to me, but then again, I've encountered my fair share of surprises here as well. Our village rests in a veritable sea of poisonous plants and animals, so the slightest injury on a hunt can prove deadly. Thus, we believe it prudent to begin our training as early as possible. Yet, no matter how skilled we might become, accidents are inevitable, and the heartsting proves vital to our survival. Not only does it produce poison, it cleanses it as well. In the right hands, it can dispel some of the deadliest natural toxins known to mankind. It even purifies the beasts we hunt. In fact, our diet consists of highly venomous creatures. Ones that would normally kill a grown adult if ingested. The heart sting allows us to lead a quiet life, quite peaceful life, in lands where others dare not tread. It always has. I suppose that's why I never imagined someone like Alaret would take that away from us. When I left our village, food stores were well stocked, but I can't bear the thought of my younger brothers and sisters going hungry. I must return the heart sting as soon as I can, for their sakes. I wish to bring back their smiles and make them feel safe again, just as we did for that young boy. In any case, thank you for listening. Thinking of home puts me in good spirits. As long as I remember who and what I'm here for, I'll be alright. I know it. But I've kept you long enough. I think it's time we made our way back to Limsa, don't you? Can't teleport where she goes to. Eh, gotta walk. That was a much needed reprieve, but we'll need to plan for our next destination and soon. Well now, fancy meeting you here. It's good to see you two again. What brings you to Limsa? Nothing of import, really. Just a bit of restocking before our next job. We happened to spot you along the way. Didn't want to miss opportunity to greet our heroes. Our client arrived to Swift Perch in one piece, thanks to your timely assistance. Indeed, while I regret that you had to see us in such a pitiable state, we're both grateful for your aid. When last we met, you spoke of pursuing those two charlatans, did you not? Yes, that's right. They've stolen a precious heirloom from my village. I'm doing everything in my power to return it to its rightful place. So that's the way of it. Bombastic as those two were, we've not seen hide nor hair of them in Ailport since. No word of any incidents like ours either. But I have a feeling they won't stay in the shadows for long. If we sniff out any suspicious incidents while we're out and about, we'll keep you informed. We won't say no to some extra pair of eyes around the island. I've made my base of operations here in the city, so if you hear even a peep about a poisoning, you know where to find us. Well, we may not have found any leads on Alaret, but I'm glad we had a chance to chat. And with Solm and Serik on our side, things are looking up. For now, I'll keep in touch with our newfound allies. Should I hear any news on our culprits, I'll be sure to let you know. Tulky, am I glad to see you? I've just received word from Solm and Zerg. Our culprits have finally been spotted. It seems the thieves are headed for Upper La Noscia. I offered to make my way there as soon as I could, while some Enzeric said I should hang back for now. Once they've gathered enough information, they'll be heading back to Airport. Let's go and see what news they have to share. No sign of why some Enzeric yet. I don't mean to assume the worst, but I admit I'm a bit worried. I knew I should have insisted on going. I don't want them injured on my behalf. I say we head out and find them. Miss Kana, terribly sorry for the delay. Why some Enzeric? Thank goodness. How did you fare out there? You found Elret and Kokonoa, yes? Well, we found them, alright, but it didn't take long for them to find us. We were set upon by Kokonoa's mammoths. His mechanical menagerie greatly outnumbered us. It may very well have been our end. Death by mammoth isn't an ideal way to go, mind you, so retreat was our only option. Cowardly though it may sound, we needed to ensure we could keep you aware of the culprit's whereabouts. Before they spotted us, they were stuffing their little metal army into a skiff bound for Camp Bronze Lake. And mark my words, they're plotting something new. Of course, it's entirely possible they seek a quiet route to eastern La Noscia, in which to bypass Bronze Lake instead. But a thorough search of the camp would be wise. The last enemy you face is far beyond our capabilities. This is as far as Wisum and I will be able to go. I'm sorry we couldn't provide more decisive information. Honestly, I should be the one apologizing. You risked your life and limb for me already. I never meant to push you past your limits. You needed to dwell on it. We're as eager to bring those criminals to justice as you. Indeed, we shall at least take pride in knowing we could point you in the right direction. But we should take our leave for now. Wilson and I ran most of the way here, and I think I speak for both of us when I say we could use a comfortable chair and a hearty meal. None can gainsay your strength, my friends, but I beg you not to underestimate that of our foe. Go well, and may your determination guide you to victory. Camp Bronze Lake. The ferry skipper spoke of the place my first time here. We should hurry and seek passage before Elret and Kokonoa elude us again. Really just going on a world tour. What a lovely camp. Now, if I were a half-crazed alchemist with a heart sting and a new scheme up my sleeve, where would I hide? Is it just me, or are there pigs flying in the sky? Oh, hurts to laugh. Oh, it's a laughing gas. Oh dear, that doesn't bode well. To the upper levels, Tulky, quickly. Poisoning the springs. You truly are the lowest of the low. Hehe, you flatter me. It was just a little poison. Really, as a treat. I'm afraid I couldn't contaminate all the water here, but we're having oh so much fun with our shiny new hallucinatory toxin. Step away from the springs, Tulky. Now. Protecting the healer, are we? How sickeningly sweet of you. But you ought to watch your step as well, my dear fairy apple. Lest you find yourself seeing stars, or, Alaret is ought to miss. What the What the heck? Kokonoa, you look absolutely hideous. Or should I say adorable? Why, you're as bonny as a porcelain doll. What the hells are you on about? Oh, very interesting. It's very interesting indeed. I believe I may poison myself. Aha, now there's a predicament. And guess what? Do you recall those antidotes I prepared at the base? Because I forgot to bring them. Oh, okay. You are your own worst enemy, do you know that? I suggest we retreat before you decide to dive headfirst into the springs for fun. Unbound scum, you think will allow you to walk free after all the chaos you've caused? Well, yes, actually. Have you seen Alaret? She's in no state to contend with you, and never been one for rough and tumble. Of course, you're welcome to give chase, provided you have no qualms about leaving these poor souls to laugh themselves senseless. Oh, retreat though we must, I would call today a rousing success. But worry you not, my dearest bushel of busybodies. We've plenty more tricks in store for you and the entire island. How many bombs do they have? My goodness. Phew, I don't sense any toxins in the water anymore, so the springs should be safe again. So toxins affect the local wildlife. Seeing as Alaret suffered from a taste of her own medicine, I doubt she's mastered much of the Heartsting's power. As such, any poison she produced from it would be relatively weak. Most of her handiwork has already evaporated with the steam. We might compare it to the way those awful unbound smoke bombs dissipate, and thank goodness they do. In more capable hands, however, the Heartsting's poison remains active unless dispelled with a Suna or another form of antidote. The same permanence applies to its cleansing abilities for our food. Now there's much on my mind, but I think we have bigger problems to address first. Let's make our rounds of the camp and talk about our next step. I'm going to have to look around the springs to ensure the toxins are gone for good. I ask you to treat any victims you come across. The most I've ever casted is Suna. Olay. Much appreciated, madam. I wasn't anywhere near the water when it was poisoned, but the toxic steam must have drifted this way. When I heard the rumblings about mysterious mammoths roaming around the camp recently, I was more than a little apprehensive, but I never expected those mammoths' masters would do something so cruel. Your efforts are helping us put this turmoil behind us, and for that you have my thanks. For I can't simply let you administer this aid alone. I should tend to the remaining victims as well. My costumed compatriots, they're gone. Farewell, my visions. May you revel on in my memory. They say laughter is the best medicine, but I feel far worse than before. Many thanks for putting an end to it. I think I've earned myself another soak and an extra flagon of mulled wine. Pleasant travels, you healer. So who the heck was accompanying her? Is she that rich that she just has a servant? Oh, thank the gods. I wasn't expecting to nearly laugh myself to death at a place meant for healing. At least I can breathe easy again. I hear you're chasing after the ones who did this. You're either very brave or very reckless, but I'm inclined to assume the former. Any road, all that laughing has exhausted me, so I might as well take a break from my soak. Thank you again for your kindness, and may the navigator keep you. How goes the healing, Tulky? Wonderful. I'm glad Isuna proved effective. For my part, I've given the springs a thorough look. The toxins have dissipated completely, so the bathers should be safe from here on out. As for Elaret and Kokonowa's antics, I've had a moment to reflect on everything. Now that our work is done, do you have a moment to chat? I'm well versed in the numbing and blinding poisons we use on our hunts home, but something kept troubling me about Elaret's toxin. I've never seen anything like it. I had no idea it even existed among the scorpion's gifts. Elaret may be inexperienced, but the fact that she's learned to inflict hallucinations is cause for concern. Still, we should try to look on the bright side. She's yet to discover the heart sting's cleansing properties. Judging by the way she couldn't cure her own ailments. Knowing her as we do, I reckon she only has toxic trickery on her mind. Okonowa, however, handled himself surprisingly well. despite his exposure. He recalled a man in Limsa who ate the poisoned apple. He claimed Kokonowa took a bite, yet never suffered its ill effects. He must have some manner of immunity, but how? How intriguing. So instead of using an heirloom like Heartsting, the Dunes folk train their bodies to endure fatal toxin. I'd be interested to try that tea as long as I had an antidote in hand. I didn't realize Kokonoa might have had that sort of upbringing. It would certainly explain why Elleret's tricks don't seem to affect him. You in my village would ever think to consume potentially lethal food or drink without drawing on Heartsting's power. Yet the Dunes folk do it gladly. The more I consider our differing approaches to poison, the more fascinating it becomes. But I have a feeling that beavers don't want to overhear the talk of poisons after what they've just been through. Why don't we continue our discussion in Limsa Laminsa? Phew. I know I've been anxious to ascertain our thief's whereabouts, but things escalated far quicker than I thought. Your presence throughout the whole ordeal was a welcome one, Tulky. What was not so welcome was Alaret's parting words. Whatever she has planned for the whole island, it can't possibly be good. Her acts of mischief have only grown worse since I arrived in the city. We must take the Heartsting back before she causes any lasting harm. Of course, it was Wisum and Zarek's efforts that led us to Alaret. I'll have to thank them when I get the chance. In the meantime, I'll do what I can to track down our unruly thieves and report to you as soon as I'm able. Okay. Going to accept this and then I'll have to stop. Hey, prepare to get out. Tulky, I'm glad you're here. I'm on the cusp of a breakthrough in our search, or I'd like to think so. This won't come as a surprise, but Lorette and Kokonoa went back into hiding after Bronze Lake incident. With all their grandstanding, I wasn't expecting them to lay low for so long. I doubt they'll keep it that way. Fortunately, we have prior experience to guide us. Till now, our culprits have traveled all over Vilbrand, and they don't appear to be retracing their steps. I hear Costa del Sol attracts many visitors. That seems a likely target. They say it's owned by an entrepreneur named Gekaruju. Perhaps we can ask if he spied anything out of the ordinary. Alrighty. I need to prepare to leave. Get out. Let's go leave. Yeah. I'll continue this on a different day. Done re-clear, so I don't have much obligations to raid. So that's a nice thing. Yeah. I'll continue this on a different day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around. Have a nice day or night, wherever you are. And take care. Bye bye.